I'll wait. I'll wait for YouTube to be up. We're just giving a minute to YouTube to get ready. We are waiting because YouTube is on its way and the live stream is not active yet. So I'm just giving it a minute. Okay, let's call the meeting to order.
All right. Agenda.
Oops, sorry.
Are we good? Okay. What? You're talking to me. Oh, we do the salute.
May I have everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Ready? Begin. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Agenda. Pine Mountain Club Property Owners Association, Inc. Board of Directors, regular meeting, Saturday, January 17th, 2026, 10 a.m. in the Condor Room. Members are free to speak on a specific agenda item when the board chair calls for discussion on that item. If you would like to bring up a topic that is not listed on today's agenda, the appropriate time to do so is during the members' open forum. This meeting is being recorded to provide access to members and to aid the recording secretary in preparing the minutes. To ensure a respectful and constructive environment for everyone, we kindly ask that all comments be shared in a courteous manner and remain free of personal, argumentative, and disruptive remarks or gestures. Thank you for helping us maintain a positive and inclusive space for community dialogue. Call to order. Joshua Arman.
Here.
Mark Bailey.
I'm here via Zoom.
Great. Madison Bodorf. Here. Me. Sean Coulter.
Here.
Okay. Nicole Gates.
Here.
Randall Gates.
Here.
Andrea Schoening.
Here.
And Douglas Wild.
Here.
Okay. Adopt the agenda. Resolve that the agenda for the Board of Directors meeting January 17th, 2026 be adopted.
Good.
All those in favor of adopting the agenda?
Yes.
All right. Approval of the minutes. Motion to approve the draft minutes of the Board of Directors regular open board meeting of December 20th. Year's wrong.
That's
2025. Clearly having issues
Oh.
with the. Okay. Okay. Motion to approve the draft minutes of the Board of Directors regular open board meeting of December 20th, 2025.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. I'll comment that all PMC POA governing documents affected by approved resolutions and motions in these minutes have been updated to reflect the approved changes. Consent agenda. Consent agenda opportunity for public comment. All items listed under consent agenda are considered to be routine and non-controversial. Consent items will be considered first and may be approved by one motion if no member of the board wishes to comment or ask questions. If comment or discussion is desired by anyone in the audience, the item may be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered in listed sequence with an opportunity for any member to address the board concerning the item before action is taken. So, we want to motion to approve it all at once. There's only one. Yeah, we can go through it, or
We need a separate motion.
motion to approve the consent agenda in its entirety.
Second.
We had a second from Randall first, Mark, but thank you. Discussion? All those in favor of approval? Motion carries.
All right. Officers' reports, chair's report.
Good morning, everyone. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge Candace, our board chair who recently stepped down, and communicate my appreciation for her and for her service to us all, both as a volunteer, committee volunteer, and as board chair for the association. The extensive time and care she dedicated to streamlining protocols, strengthening member engagement, and organizing us all as a board was absolutely essential to us moving forward, or even being able to pick up where she left off. She definitely helped the board of directors move into the 21st century. We are now doing things in a way that will allow future boards to operate accordingly without playing the same catch-up game that we were up against starting this fiscal year. It was also her time as planning chair that inspired me to become involved as a volunteer in the first place. And through that, eventually, Randall got on board as a treasurer. So believe it or not, Candace has been incredibly influential. And I know for Madison as well. Andrea, on the other hand, was already involved in these without her help. But she was incredibly influential for us, and we're all moms. And she, family comes first. And the work she accomplished during her time as chair while caring for an infant and 2 toddlers is not something I take lightly. And we all understand that what she was up against. I'm grateful for her service, and we wish her family well. I appreciate any grace you offer us during this time of transition as we continue to work together in order to be of service to our membership. On that note, the 2026 annual election process has begun, starting with the call for board candidates. If you wish to volunteer your time and serve on the board, you may submit your nomination to Accurate Voting Services through email, registered mail, and on their website no later than Thursday, March 26th. If you need more information, please contact the office. This was sent out to members by email. I would also like to encourage members who would like to become more involved to consider committee service. Our committees benefit greatly from a diversity of skills, experience, and viewpoints, and member participation strengthens the board's decision-making, but also the overall community. Before proceeding any further, I would like to address a procedural matter for the record. I've been made aware of communications sent directly to staff that are inconsistent with association policy and appropriate governance practice. I would like to clearly state that the board has a legal duty to provide a safe and respectful workplace for employees and management. Individual members do not have the authority to direct staff or dictate timelines. The board will not allow our employees to be placed in an adversarial position by individual members, and it is our responsibility to ensure that staff are not harassed, intimidated, or placed in a coercive position by member communication. Our staff are entitled to the same workplace protections expected of any employer, and the board of directors will ensure those protections are upheld. Thank you. We will now proceed.
Okay. General Manager's report.
Okay, I have a bunch. Good morning, everyone. Big thank you for joining us today, Zoom or in person. Senior Operations Manager Bob and I have been here 8.55 months. So I'm still counting. So several administrative updates. In December, we celebrated our second employee of the month, Jose Lopez. He's now on clubhouse maintenance. You'll see him around, but he was in the kitchen. So, great opportunity there. Great job, Jose. This month's employee of the month is, he doesn't know it yet, Gail Paterino. She works in accounting. She works many areas, does a great job. She's also the secretary of the governing docs committee. So unanimously, Gail, congratulations out there. Okay, yeah. Okay. And great job to the staff. The Christmas and New Year's decorations, the entire staff, great job. New Year's dinner was great. The prime rib, I had the prime rib, unbelievably good. So it's too good. Also, RSN radios and extra batteries have been for sale via the business office for several weeks now, and we sold 5 so far. So get your RSN radio. I recommend it, highly recommend it. It's not mandatory, but you know, when things get difficult and you know we have any potential inclement weather related disasters, the RSN radio is a really good lifeline to understand and listen of what's going on. You can just monitor. I mean, I monitor it every night, and you'll hear chatter, you'll hear things. Anytime we have some storms, inclement weather, they are monitoring, and it's a great ability to be able to through the network and the other neighborhoods just to understand what's going on the mountain. So great device. It's $20, George, $20 a radio. So great price too, $5 less than it was when I bought it. Okay, so I know we're probably over 300 now. I wish James Douglas was here to confirm, but I know we're well over 300 now, which is still a huge nice accolade for us amongst mountain communities to be able to lead the way in the nation as far as saturation in our population, you know, to have this, you know, backup network. And we still have HF capability too. I know HF. So. Few operations updates as follows. We're in the zero-based budget process. We're not complete yet, but it's still in progress. So far, we've George Esparza and we've been meeting with all the department managers, reviewing, building the operating expense budget now. The labor budget, we're 90% or more complete on that. Still some adjustments because we have some open fills. But through the zero-based budget process, the headcount labor budget alone, we're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars saved. And I mean, no definite way to understand why that is other than staffing and where we haven't filled many positions, 3 or 4 that have left, resigned, or whatnot. We're just trying to do more with less. That's kind of the message, doing more with less. But if we cut, we cover. So cut and cover our cost and ensure that we're still providing the best service. Let's see. Quick update on the Timco regenerative street sweeper model 435. I messaged our distributor, our Marco, that sold it to us. So they're going to present a buyback number. I already know it's probably going to be too low. Just looking at options here. Buyback has always, been an option from day one, in my opinion. But a buyback, if we were ever to go down that path, would only be if we have a alternate option, and that alternate option would be to utilize a contracted service. And there is a service that does it for the county, Kern County, and it's Davenport Sweeping Services. So I reached out, waiting to set up a meeting to discuss the possibility of utilizing their service when they're doing Mil Patero to service the mountain specific designated areas. So that would be, in lieu of having a sweeper. But, that'd be a board decision at that point, because we'd get bids and we'd really have to understand it, and the membership really, understand that, the service is what we're focusing on. Due to the functionality of the current sweeper, $200,000 sweeper, the functionality is less than adequate. So, just trying to resolve, move forward from that, bad purchase decision. I'll say it. It was a bad decision to purchase that. you know, to have a street sweeper, I get it, but there should have been a little more discussion and involvement and getting lots of opinions from the members and everybody. So moving forward from that, I'll just keep updating on what we can do on that to better ourselves. Golf course update. What's the plan? I've been asking. I kind of initiated a lot of this when I took over, when I canceled the Crago contract. That was $25,000 a year with really no results. So we've reapplied that through a golf consultant. His name's Todd. And we've talked about him in the past meetings, but he's got a great plan laid out for us. Some of that's going to include, and I won't understand a lot of this, but broadleaf weed control, continuous gopher trapping program, bunkers and tree trimming will be done by the end of February. The problem is soil temperatures. So once soil temps reach 55 to 60 degrees, we'll punch and fill. So I guess punch and fill means, we'd be seeding, treating, starting with the greens, then the tees and the fairways thereafter. This will allow aeration, water, and fertilizer absorption for new growth. Moss control will start as soon as it is actively growing in the spring with treatments on 2-week intervals until it's under control. That's a big problem out there. And I hear it a lot. Marty and Kelly out there. And constant monitoring and maintenance. So we have a plan. It really entails a seasonal approach, but very, very good opportunity to get this course right. And it will, within this first season, we'll probably really understand how effective that plan resulted. Picking up from last month's eviction notices we sent out to the Gophers via bulk mail. I'm happy to report 4 have permanently left PMC on the first day. Mike Pierce, our Greens and Grounds supervisor, sent me live updates, which went like this. Traps were in place by 1,100 hours. We caught 4 by 1,300 hours. And I'm keeping a record, quote, so far, first day, 2 on hole number 9, 1 on number 3, and 1 on number 4. So great job, Mike. Thank you, Michael Pierce. Safety program fully up and running through Safety Leaders Innovation. They're partnered with Treon, which falls under Benchmark, which is our workers' comp carrier. Couple of the things that we're addressing, LOTO, lockout tagout, that's a critical piece of safety. That was completed in person through SLI. And this is at no charge. So, through our JG Parker and all our carriers, we have a safety app. We have a safety team now that has been formed. And the safety team, Michael Franco in maintenance, Jobert Dela Cruz in accounting, Jeff Fredericks, lead patrol. So we have various folks involved to help us. We're currently building our library of preventative maintenance inspections for all vehicles, machinery, and we're uploading all that into the Got Safety platform, which is our app. So, it's really turning out to be a really solid program. Previously, it wasn't that we didn't have a program or it was a bad program. It kind of rested on one individual. So one individual on top of his primary duties on the greens would take on this role as safety program individual. And it was just, it's centralized now. So definitely on track. Cost savings, going to be one of my permanent updates every month, but time to share more improvement in our ability to minimize costs in as many areas as possible when necessary, but not by cutting corners. We're not going to push to the point where we're just saving costs and we're just, foregoing really what we need to do with quality. So repeat kudos to the maintenance team. Last month they resurrected, our roto chopper belt, saving us, $14,000. A few weeks ago, the North Side compactor, everyone knows, you know, we've had some issues with the North Side compactor, the one on the left. And, you know, there's lots of maintenance and service required on those things. On the interior, there's welding required because there's holes and things that develop. But recently it was down, and it was down for a while. It was repaired in-house. It was a $383 part. It was a sensor or circuit board part, Bob? Safety switch. Okay. And then they did some follow-on welding inside, in-house. But the replacement cost for a compactor, you know, when we don't try to fix things ourselves, that would have cost us $25K. So, you know, another kudos. Great job. Great job. Pumps for the lake water system have 0 remaining life. There was an expected cost of over $100,000 in the reserves. It was in-house repaired. I think Todd, our golf consultant, helped identify an issue or a fix. That was under $700 to fix that. So by extending the estimated remaining useful life of 4 years, extending it 4 years over the estimated original life of 15 years, the savings translates to roughly about $33,000. And thank you, Bob, for the analysis on that. All departments have been contributing to normal operations as well as supporting special projects like the new Mill Potrero Mutual Water Company well, which, as can be seen, is almost completed, enhancing the quality of water as well as availability. Cosmetics and restoration of the fencing, landscaping, and cart path will be complete on our end after SCE supplies and power are in place. We thank you for your patience with any inconveniences during that the project for the well. Lastly, last update, public safety update. No update this month. CHPs were busy in December. I know they have, you know, specific budget requirements or challenging budgets, as it stated the last meeting I went to. But they've been fairly busy with the casino opening. But no update. I'll reach out and I'll see what activity we've had in this month and report it next month. But normally there's a few citations and warnings, and as long as they can continue to come out and help support us, I mean, I appreciate them. Thank you, CHP Commander Rudy Alcarez. I keep sending you the link. I hope you're logged in. But, you know, assisting our community, you know, active speed monitoring, that's the things that we require. We have a lot of guests and a lot of folks here, and it's very dangerous. So thank you. Thank you. Everyone in the community, please drive safely, always 25 miles per hour throughout our community. Keep everybody safe. Happy New Year.
Okay, treasurer's report.
Good morning. Always hard to follow, James. Quick, hard to say quick, a quick update on the IRS audit, because that was something we talked about earlier. Are we or are we not a 501c7? And there's issues that make that a serious question, and we have to have the right answer. We were notified of an IRS audit in August, and this was not about deductions or anything. It was about whether we're qualified to be a 501c7, specifically for that purpose. Our agent was furloughed, so we were set back a few months. He's back employed, and on January 15th, myself, James, and George Esparza had a conference call with the agent. Agent has concluded that the PMC does not qualify to file as a 501c7, which wasn't really surprising. The work George and I had done initially brought up a lot of questions that didn't seem to be a good fit. And basically, we have two options going forward. And there's some good news here, and this is pending confirmation of the agent's official written report later this month. I believe he said January 26th. It's not expected we'll be required to amend the Form 990s. This is, the one that he's auditing was 2023. Takes them a while. If we had been required to amend fiscal 23 and 24, that could have had some consequences. He indicated basically the filing for fiscal 25 will have to take place under section 528, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, or section 501c4. Now, if we could just become a 501c3, our assessments would be charitable contributions, but that's not going to happen. And let me just go through the sections very quickly here. Section 528 is you're no longer a not-for-profit, but you're treated as one, kind of. There's some important exceptions. Our investment income is historically, under our current situation, or 501c7 is taxed at 21%, because it's non-exempt income. As any restaurant or any other fees a non-member pays here, they all get taxed at 21%. If we're required to file under section 528, it would be at 30%. And as interest and income and other things go up, that can be a significant amount. The most serious consequences of 528, I think we've already dodged with the members ratifying the bylaw 1010 carry forward bylaw, where there's no choice in what you do with the budget surplus. Because under 528, had this been invoked earlier, budget surplus could have been taxed at 30%, which means if you had a 500,000 surplus, that's a $150,000 tax unless you follow the very specific rules. So 528, not ideal. A little more, I don't believe any exposure on budget surpluses will be a problem going forward. But even on investment income, under the 501c7, if we had a 200,000 investment income, we'd keep 158. Under section 528, we'd only keep 140,000. So not ideal, but not having to amend prior returns helps. Section 501c4. What's unique about that? It's a challenging election, and we have reason to be optimistic that we can pursue it. Interest earned on cash balances is not included in taxable income. So unlike investment income under our current situation being taxed at 21%, or under 528 being taxed at 30%, if we can qualify under a 501c4, it's tax-free. Every dollar earned is a dollar kept. It's challenging because to qualify, an association must operate for the general public social welfare, not just the members' private benefit. But since almost all of our amenities and facilities and parks are open to the general public, including anybody who wants to drive up to the Enchanted Forest and park for the trailhead, they don't have to be a member. So there's a lot of loopholes, not loopholes, a lot of flexibility in how you interpret how they would normally disallow an election for an association. Because actually one of the things we found when looking at it is well-defined developments such as ours can qualify if they function in a manner similar to a public municipality. And we've always said we're more like a small city up here. So there's when you do the math on this, if our investment income was 200,000 and we're keeping all of it over many years, that's a very big addition to our coffers that the members don't have to finance to their own assessment. So we're keeping more. So, we're looking at that. There's a specialist in Simi Valley that we've looked at, has probably the greatest body of work on this. And we need to be very careful. You only get one chance to make a first impression when you go to the IRS. So we want to have all our ducks lined up. We take ducks to the IRS, probably, I guess. So Good news, it's better to be aware than be surprised. And had this happened earlier, it could have actually triggered some consequences on budget surpluses. But at this point, that ship, it seems, has passed, sailed. All right, been a long year. All right, December financials. The board subcommittee has completed the review for both November and December, and the Budget and Finance Committee also completed the review and recommended the board approve the financials for November 30th and December 31st, 2025. Oh, there we are. Good. I'll try to do this quickly. For December, we're worse than budget by 88,000. However, for year to date, we're better than budget by 235,000. A lot of this is attributable to James and others being very, keeping it very visible that the goal here is to justify what we spend and to question it twice or more. A lot of these cuts come through payroll, through basically reductions that haven't been filled, and where James has allocated the work to others and we're still getting the work done. A lot of payroll savings. But the biggest change on this schedule would be general administrative line 7 on your, I keep mentioning a 22-page document. If anybody ever really wants to look at page 7 for all the details, it's all there. It will be available online shortly. General administrative was probably the major reason for December being worse than budget by 88,000. It's hard to identify with we had foreclosed lot revenue that had to be changed because of a CIN anomaly. Put it into income instead of a liability account. That's been corrected. Legal fees worse than budget by 15,000 for December. It's still better than budget by 2,500 year to date. Foreclosed lot property taxes, worse than budget by 39,000 for December, and worse than budget by 21,000 year to date. However, this is a non-cash accrual. It budgeted for 45,000 year to date, and it's really more of a timing difference. Annual audit and tax return, again, just a timing issue. The payment for the annual audit of worse than budget by 18,000. Payment took place in December instead of October. So again, and then basically the above are offset by what I referred to when I opened this. Payroll costs were better than budget for general and administrative by 6,000 for December, but better than budget by 56,000 year to date due to not unfilled positions. So that's the bulk of the change. On year to date, there's a few items that just stand out. Maintenance operations were better than budget by 51,000. Again, payroll expense better than budget by 20,000. Which two's in the wrong spot. There we are. Excuse me. Road asphalting and road stripping expense are better than budget by 10,000 and 16,000 respectively. Equestrian Center results were better than budget by 31,600 year to date. What we have is better revenues than budgeted by 7,000, payroll costs lower than budget by 8,000. For those of you who follow the hay cost commodity exchange, hay costs better than budget by $16,000. We do have one thing that isn't in there. There are some issues on potential uncollectability of boarding fees and arrears, and that will have to be addressed going forward. But the good news, at December 31st, we had almost 8 million in operating cash, and the reserve fund cash balance was 5.2 million. And the reserve use, by the way, is 68,000. We spent 68,000 in reserves so far this year, and all usage, I'm happy to say, is related to component expenditures approved in open session. So everything that was spent can all be traced back to a resolution, and you can see exactly what it is. 2025, 2026 assessments receivable, as the overhead indicates, are 397,000 or 6 point, almost 9%. This represents a $117,000 increase, however, from this time last year. And there is some concern with the economy, and that George is going to point out in a second that although the web portal is not up and running yet for the members to make monthly payments, there is absolutely no reason not to do so if it helps some members prepare for what is otherwise a lump sum at one time. And I will defer to George, because again, anything we can do to help smooth that out over a greater period, I think might reduce some of these arrearages in payments for assessment.
Yeah, so I just want to reiterate that you do not need to pay your assessment in a lump sum. You can make payments throughout the year at any point. We recommend talking to your bank and set up a bill pay. That's what a lot of members do. They'll just send us checks monthly. This avoids the credit card fees. If your bank does not provide that service, you can always come into the office, drop off a check, or pay with the credit card, but we do have a 3.5% credit card fee. We're currently working on the website to enable online payments through your member portal, and that's a work in progress. But we should have it set up and going hopefully by mid-February. And at that point, you can make any payments, any amount. Yeah.
Thanks, George. That's all.
Thank you so much. I have to make a comment that I received sunglasses to wear at some point, and it didn't happen, and I'm sad. So hopefully next time I can put these sunglasses on. Yeah. Okay. Back to serious mode. Motion to ratify the draft of the association's November 2025 financials in accordance with Civil Code 5500 and 5501.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes.
All right, Sean?
Yes.
Go ahead. You said, I asked for discussion, you said yes.
Oh, no. Oh, I thought you said Sean second.
He did.
I did also ask that. Okay, good.
Oh, yeah. Great work, by the way.
All right. That was,
Both to Randall, to George, and to James, and to the whole staff. Very amazing. Amazing.
all those in favor?
Aye.
And, right, motion carries.
Okay. Committee minutes acceptance. Acknowledge receipt of the following minutes. Bear Committee, December 2025, Governing Docs, October 2025, and Planning Committee, December 2025. Okay. Motion, or do we need to? I think that's it. Yeah, we're just acknowledging. Okay. Motion to approve Environmental Control Committee project recommendations. There were 3, and there were no cottage industry permits.
Do I have a second? Discussion? All those in favor of approving EC project recommendations? And John?
Aye.
All right. Motion carries.
Members Open Forum. The Board of Directors values and encourages member participation. This 25-minute Members Open Forum is for members to share thoughts, ideas, or concerns related to our community. Members wishing to speak are kindly asked to step up to the microphone, address the board chair, and state their name, tract, and lot number. Each member will have up to 5 minutes to speak. To help keep the space respectful and productive for all, we ask that comments be shared in a courteous manner, free from offensive or disruptive language. While the board might not respond immediately during the forum, all comments will be thoughtfully noted and referred to the appropriate staff or committee for follow-up as needed. Questions that cannot be fully addressed during the meeting and require additional follow-up may be submitted in writing or emailed to the recording secretary, and the question will be responded to within 15 calendar days upon receipt. In addition, the member's name, tract, and lot number must be included. Thank you for your continued engagement and care for our mountain community.
Thank you. Finnegan 3566362, Chair, Board of Directors. I must admit I got irritated when a bear broke into my house 3 times. It broke the glass door, took all the food in the fridge, and made a hell of a mess. Not to mention it took a swipe ring. Don't get me wrong. I love to see bears in my yard and out in the wild. Please be wild. Don't go into my house. In the process, I reported a Fish and Wildlife, aka Wildlife, into patrol. It was very frustrating. With Wildlife, I filed their VRR report 3 times with no response. They did not give out their phone number, and I finally got a test to our biologist, and they set up a trap 10 days after the bear had left the area. Frustrating. When I called the patrol, I was told, we will lock it in. That'll help. Hey, bear, look at my logbook. There has to be a better solution. I don't blame patrol. Part of the problem is patrol could not report to wildlife that all they can do is lock it in. Looking for solutions, I met with our general manager, James. First talk for an hour, coming up with ideas. The process has been long. It's been 3 months since our first meeting. We have met in person for 4.7 hours, including a meeting with the head of patrol and numerous phone calls and emails, all very constructive. James and I attended the last 3 board committee meetings. In the last meeting, we took questions about the procedures, and they said, we'll get back to you. So far, nothing. We presented it to government docs, they tabled the matter. At this point, I must thank James. Without your help, with your help, we have made great progress. We had a couple of roadblocks, but you're going to get a Green Beret and a Hollywood producer on the job, you get a job done. So thank you, James. I don't know how you did it, but James got the phone number to the captain of the law enforcement agency of wildlife and asked him to call me. That is teamwork. The captain and I talked. We come to the conclusion that wildlife wants to help. They also have their restrictions. I've done many negotiations with the government. I told you I once closed the Golden Gate Bridge. There was no small feat. Dealing with the government, you have to realize they're looking at what's in it for them, not us. I told the captain, we all know we have a problem. Let us help. Let us have a great patrol department get you help the need. 3 days later, I got an email confirming that patrol can report to wildlife. It's a huge feat. There are some conditions, not unreasonable. That is why I've written the procedure. It's not mandatory. Members and renters can still report directly to wildlife if they can find it. If not, they can report it to patrol. There is another problem. I found out that I had a bear break-in before the homes went into. I was the only one reporting it. That is 20% reporting. It's like Chicago is saying crime is down. Nobody's reporting it. I found out wildlife can only get money based on how big the problem is. If only 20% report the problems, they get 20% of what they need to help us. Phase 2 and James and my plan is to get the word out. Now, members and renters report the problems.
Josh, I believe you are unmuted.
No, I was on mute this
Okay,
whole time.
there's a background noise coming from Zoom. Sorry,
Nothing.
it wasn't you. Okay, it's fine. Just be aware. Go ahead, Finn.
Phase 2 of James and my plans is to get the word out. Members and vendors report the problems. We hope the fair committee will join our team and help. Together, we can get it done. I asked the board to approve the general manager and my proposal for the patrol procedure so we can move forward. FYI, there is phase 3 and phase 4. I hope the board will work with us and not be a roadblock. Thank you.
Good morning. Happy middle of January, and it's 55 degrees outside. It's amazing weather. I'd like to comment on the Peak to Peaks Science Fair yesterday, and History Fair was awesome. Thank you for all the kids and the teachers and the staff that put that together. That was an amazing experience for everybody.
Sorry, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
Can you please provide your member number?
You bet.
Yeah, still getting used to this.
Okay. I'm still getting used to it myself. 3402-307. Got it, okay. And I recognize we're in transition, but that's the nature of the beast, right? We have volunteers come in every 3 years. We've had new faces. And this next round of,
Feedback.
I'm not going to speak any further unless we can
think
get
Bob
that
is
under
getting-
control.
I think Bob is getting George. It's just feedback. That's what it is.
Okay,
No, it's that we need to be muted on Zoom. It's picking us up.
yeah.
So that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So sorry, Josh, it wasn't you guys at all. It was actually us. James is looking at it, and I'm assuming George can fix it. for you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Real quick, it's great how we can identify a problem, get it fixed, and turn it around. I've been discussing roadway safety for about 4 years. We've gone through 4 different general managers, Karen, Todd, Jennifer, and now James. We've gone through 4 different board chairs. We had Bill Lewis, Jennifer Emmett, Candace, and now we're going through another one. In those 4 years that I've been up here discussing roadway safety, Todd was able to get 25-mile-an-hour markers on the road painted, okay? In 2026, the state of California has recognized this as a problem in school zones, and they have implemented new laws to lower the speed limit in front of schools from 25 to 20. They're implementing camera technology from larger locations for speed traps, getting fines, automatic, things like that. I recognize our community is behind the times. It's not an urban area. We're very rural. If you go into a Google search, look at pedestrian deaths, you can do it right now. The last pedestrian that was killed was 12 hours ago in California. It happens every day. It's not just it doesn't hit the headlines like an issue in Minnesota, that parent who lost a child. A commuter gets hit by on a bicycle by a car every month and gets killed, okay? James, I appreciate your conversations with me about this, but we need to step this up. It's not about emergency preparedness. It's about emergency prevention. We need to prevent likelihood of a death associated with a speeding car going through our community on Mil Potrero, our higher speed areas that people go 45 miles an hour all the time. It happens every day. I'm not exaggerating. You spend 15 minutes, 20 minutes on any of these faster trunks. People are not doing the speed limit. They're going 15, 20 miles. I mean, I should say they're going at least 35. Some are going 45 on like Woodland. To correct you, James, we do have some places where it's 15. On Yellowstone, that whole route is rather windy, and most of that is dangerous because of the curves, and people slow down. 15 miles an hour at the area where the transfer station is, because you got the equestrian center. People don't want to run into a horse and kill a horse. Just recently, we had a bear had to be put down because an automobile hit it. We don't put down people. If a bicyclist is hit by a car, you have to aerovac him out. The cost of hitting a person is significant. I'm asking for some signs to slow down people. A 4x4, 12 foot high with a placard. There is not one in this community that says, be careful of cyclists. There's not one. There's pedestrian on the road to Fern Lake.
Sorry to interrupt. We're at 5 minutes. If you could,
Let me wrap it up.
I'm going to allow you to wrap it up. I just
Thank you.
Remember.
I've been here for 4 years, and I'm asking for action, okay? John, I gave you a sign. We need to do this. I asked Todd, we need to have seasonal signs put up to take care of some things. And one of those signs could be roadway safety. The last bit I'm going to say is, along Askin Court, we have the village that can contribute to these signs. They just need permission from our GM to go ahead and put on awareness signs and things like that. That could be partially funded through the village. We could do this. Let's move it forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cole,
Yes, Sean?
I wanted to real quickly comment. When you gave me that sign, I turned it right over to Todd so that the GM at that time did have that sign. And I suggested that we get more of those signs. The issue that he had with those particular signs was the material it was made from would not last but maybe a few months before it cracks and breaks and disintegrates. I understand what you're saying. I'm just making you aware of what was done on my part to you. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank
And I'm aware it has to be roadway specific, their criteria. Thank you. But we need to take this on for prevention. The cost of doing so is significantly less than an ambulance cost to take that person to the hospital. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Any additional member?
Good morning. I'm Carla White, 340-2286, and I'm the co-chair of the Bear Committee. And I just first of all want to thank James for all the work he's been doing with Fish and Wildlife. And I wanted to tell our members that we have a save the date for March 7th from 10 to noon tentatively. And we'll be hosting a Bear Aware Town Hall. And we have Fish and Wildlife coming to be a speaker. James will be doing some update on how our black bear activity up here, and then hopefully patrol. But we'd like to invite you all, and there will be information coming in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additional members who would like to speak? Okay, we can conclude the members open forum.
Okie dokie. There is no old business. So now we're on to new business. First with Director Gate.
I, Director Gates, move the adoption of the following resolution. 01/01/17/2026, amend bylaw 10.3 budget formation as submitted. I'd like to just give an overview. It's kind of an oddity. When we have the annual budget process and it goes through a timeline, and it's in the same package. And it was identified that according to this bylaw, we are required to mail. If most of you, I think, are aware, there's a one-page preliminary budget summary before we have the, sorry, probably easier. There's a one-page summary that we post in the Condor, we post on the wall, and is distributed before we have the budget meeting, the board meeting specifically for the budget. And all that Davis Sterling requires is that in May, at least 30 days before the end of the fiscal year, that we actually do a hard mailing to all the members of the full budget and other items as far as reserve report and things like that. So the reason this came up is we're trying to be cost conscious. The policy here has never complied with 10.3. And I'm trying to just correct, this is challenging because 10.3 has, we need 2/3 of a quorum. So a lot of times amendments to 10.3 never actually take place because we don't get enough members to vote in a quorum. But we're going to try to encourage voter turnout for that in June because, but basically, George can tell me, I think it's close to what, 3,000 to mail out in other words, to mail out something in compliance with 10.3 is going to cost us about $3,000, and it's in totally something we haven't done. We normally just post it and make it generally available. So the amendment to the preamble basically discusses the fact that you're required to do it at year end. There's no question. But so the suggestion is that we make, instead of the current bylaw, cause the director to mail to every member at his or her address and appearing on the records of the association, which is what we have not ever done. I'm trying to conform this to our actual policy, which is adding make available to all PMC POA members by reasonable methods, weekly Condor newsletter, email blast, website and lobby posting, etc. And that's the bulk of it. It's just really to bring the bylaw in conformity to what we've actually been doing, which is being prudent with how we spend our money. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't get a second.
I don't know.
We did.
Do I have a second? Discussion? Sean?
Just so I understand now, this is a process that we've never really taken, although the resolution's been there or the bylaw's been there. Is this something that every board has got to change every single year thus far because it doesn't get the votes every time?
I would hate to spend $3,000 next year because we didn't get enough votes to pass this amendment, but if it isn't ratified, then it goes back to the requirement for a mailing, which isn't required and kind of unnecessary. You're right. So let's hope we get 2/3 of a quorum this year and put this to bed.
Right. Okay. Because now the way we're moving forward, when we put a resolution in or a bylaw change, it will not take effect until the members have a vote, correct?
Yeah, that's 14.1 and 14.2 were amended and approved by the board. They will not take effect until the members ratify that. So
Correct.
up until the balloting in June, bylaw changes are effective immediately. But again, it was very problematic. And so after June, bylaw changes will not be effective until the members vote. There will be 10 months ahead of time, something's effective and legal, and then the members don't like it. So it will have to wait till the members ratify.
And this is what, and the reason why I'm making these statements, I think, is because I really feel that the community needs to go out there and really push to vote this time around. Because a lot of the work that Randall has done and this board has done to make the community more transparent needs to be ratified by you, the members, and the whole community, and not just a few, because that few will not allow us to take effect, to have these particular resolutions take effect. So that's kind of where I'm coming from
Oh,
at this
good
time.
point.
Yeah, thank you.
There was a discussion prior to the election and maybe late May that we provide an opportunity to review everything that's on the ballot that relates to amendments that to revisit the awareness on why they're important. And so we'll attempt to get that done this year.
But to clarify, this one is specifically for providing financial, correct?
Yeah, basically, we have a preliminary one-page budget similar to the treasurer's report that shows the existing budget, experience to date, and what the current pro forma draft budget looks like. It's to kind of look it over, but then we have a member meeting, a board meeting just for the members, just for the budget. And then once it's approved, there's a detailed line-by-line budget that everyone has. So this is just basically I want to be able to do what we've always done and avoid sending out letters when we don't really need to.
All right, thank you. Is there any further discussion, including Mark and Josh? Please let me know.
No, I'm good.
Members?
I'm good.
Any thank you, Josh. Any comments from the members? Okay. We already have a second. So all those in favor of resolution 1117-2026?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries, or resolution.
All right, we're back to you, Director.
Well, this is part two of the same situation. This is what led to the bylaw change. I, Director Randall Gates, moved the adoption of the following resolution, Resolution 02-01-17-2026, to amend Business Policy F19 Annual Budget Process as submitted. We need a second before I can. It's a very, hopefully the members can see the actual red line, but actually probably should just read this. The annual budget process is the means by which the association determines the amount of the annual assessment required to operate the association. Any proposed material capital additions or capital improvements to MCPO property are not includable in the operating budget. The changes to this policy address the following: changing the composition of the budget working group to ensure that voting authority within the working group is not controlled by sitting directors. In the past, sitting directors would have a majority of this budget working group and could potentially influence it to a level that was inappropriate. Basically, the working group prepares the budget and reviewed by Budget and Finance Committee, and the board members get to weigh in at the final presentation. So I didn't think it was appropriate to have the board having an unnecessary dominance of the committee early on. I'd rather have voices be heard and follow process. And also this F19, it ensures that any disagreements between budget working group members in the budget formation process are documented for further evaluation during the subsequent draft budget reviews by the Budget and Finance Committee and the Board of Directors. Again, you could have a vote in a committee and a valid point could be overruled, but it could still be a valid point that needs to be discussed for other levels of review. So I just want to ensure no voice goes unheard here. Doesn't mean the ultimate decision will agree, but it means they have a right to be heard if they have a point. And then this also clarifies in a lot of detail a lot of the zero-based budgeting that's been going on. a all the departmental managers are responsible for a comprehensive review of the status of all reserve study components within their department, part of their assigned responsibilities. And one thing we had come up with, that if it's under 5,000, which is the inclusion for the reserve study, but over 1,000, there's a lot of things that can get missed year to year because they're not in a formal review process. So we now have set up a formal review process. So the same managers that are reviewing the reserve study are accountable for identifying those items that aren't in the reserve study but need to have routine maintenance so that they don't need to be replaced unnecessarily. And also providing an estimate of services and expenditures from other departments. So if some department needs a lot of repair and maintenance expense or maintenance expense, that we want to identify and track that as well. So the details should be in the red line of this, but that's all I have.
Any further discussion from directors? Sean?
I do have a question, and I don't know if it needs to be put into this resolution at all, not. But when you're saying a budget working group, I know that you're talking about people who are in the Budget and Finance Committee and other, I'm sure 1 or 2 board members, including the treasurer, I would assume, the general manager, I would assume, and the accountant, I would assume, in this budget working group. Should that be put into this resolution that those 3 positions should be?
It's in the actual business
okay, it's
policy
in the-
that's redlined.
Okay, all right.
So
That's all I just was clarify that those 3 positions are actually part of this process, because if there's questions need to be answered, they would have those answers.
Business policy F19 it identifies the composition of the working group.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good point.
Any further discussion by directors? Okay. Member comments? All right. All those in favor of approving resolution 2117-2026? That resolution carries. Josh, were you a
Aye.
yes on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a delay here.
Okay, thanks.
Director Randall Gates.
Since you asked. I, Director Randall Gates, move the adoption of the following resolution, Resolution 0301-117, 2026, approval of the 2024-25 audit.
Second.
Let me read the preamble just here. Basically, according to bylaw 10.05, a review or audit of the financial statements shall be prepared in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles by a licensee of the California Board of Accountancy for any fiscal year in which gross income of the association exceeds $75,000 according to Civil Code Section 5305 or its replacement section. On amendment of replacement, the audit of fiscal year 2024-2025 is completed by our CPA firm. 2024-2025 audit report has been reviewed and approved by the Budget and Finance Committee, which recommended the 2024-25 audit report be submitted to the Board of Directors for approval.
Discussion? Sean? You already seconded. Do you have any discussion? Okay. Mark and Josh, no discussion? Okay.
Nope, I'm good. I vote approved.
Any comment?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you, Josh. It's just because I can't see you, so I just want to verify. Is there any member comment? Okay, all those in favor of 0301-17-2026? And Josh?
Yes.
Okay. Resolution carries. Thank you.
Okey-dokey. Motion to nominate open officer position for the PMC POA Board of Directors.
Nominations for officer of the chair are now open. Are there any nominations?
Yes.
Yes.
I'd like to nominate Nicole Gates.
Second.
Are there any additional nominations? Okay. We do not need to vote on that since there is only a single nomination. So moving forward, we will proceed with the nomination for the position of vice chair.
I would like to nominate Director Armon.
Are there any additional nominations?
I would like to nominate Andrea.
Any beyond Director Arman and Joning? Okay, we will proceed with election by voice vote, starting with the first mentioned of Director Armand. All those in favor for Director Armand, say aye.
Aye.
Doug? I heard Mark, and I see Doug.
I vote for myself, I guess. I would
Yes,
think-
you do.
All of those in favor of Director Schoening? Okay, we have 4, Sean, Randall, Madison, and Andrea. So Director Schoening has won the grand title of vice chair. Thank you, Andrea. Nominations are now closed for open officer positions, and we can move forward with the agenda.
Okey-dokey. Motion to defer appointment of newly vacant Board of Directors position until the coming June 2026 election.
Second.
Discussion. Okay.
Uh,
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it seems unnecessary to bring someone in when all the training and everything for new directors starts in late June. And, well,
Thank you.
We don't.
I would say that it might be better for us to appoint somebody for the next year and a half term. That way we have a say on kind of who we're serving with.
Yeah.
I think it might be prudent to appoint somebody,
let-
and it might save the members the cost of election stuff. I'm not sure if it will or not. I'd have to ask James or somebody about that, but
Just to clarify, Josh, the current opening that we would have moved forward with by appointment otherwise would only be until the next fiscal year. So it would only be until June. And that is when the general election will be held. So this will basically defer new board members until voted in through the election process. Does that clarify?
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I misunderstood. I thought it was to take the rest of her term.
No.
But if it's not, then I don't see the point of appointing anybody.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. It was important clarification. Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you.
You say it too fast, Nicole. I'm so sorry. That's okay. Okay. Motion to approve the volunteer bear ambassador position to Sarun Hintirian.
I have a second.
Second.
Madison, can you tell everyone a little bit about?
Sure. So the Bear Committee posted a Bear Ambassador position online, and we had a few people interested, but we ended up interviewing Sarun, and she's a lovely candidate, brilliant and warm, and willing to volunteer her time to support our community to better coexist with the bears. And we're still kind of carving out what the position will entail, working with patrol to sort of collate data on bears for the community, and encouraging people who have bear break-ins to follow appropriate procedures to protect their properties, and dissuade bears from returning, and encourage them to file Fish and Wildlife report. So it's going to be a good amount of work that she's willing to volunteer for our community. And then hopefully if it's effective and we see the benefits of it, maybe it will become in the future a paid position, but we're not sure yet.
Thank you. Any discussion from directors?
I would like it to not become a paid position. I don't think that's something that we need to fulfill in this community. The bear break-ins have been down this year, and we're doing lots to curtail the bear issue. I think it's really on members to make sure that their homes are bear safe and be bear aware. I think that having a paid position for this is, in any time, is just not something we need to add extra to our association dues.
We can discuss that when it's on the table.
Yeah, that would be part of the budget process, Josh, so you would have a chance to weigh in. And just for the record, I believe that the Bear Committee came to this recommendation by modeling other similar communities, and this is something that is done by communities that have effective bear protocols in place.
Yes.
But yeah, you will have the board will have a chance to weigh in once, if this is submitted as part of the budget at that point.
I understand. It just was mentioned that it might be turned to paid position, so I wanted to comment on that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor? And Josh, what is your position?
I'm a no on that.
Okay. Motion carries.
All right. Motion to designate Best Alliance Foreclosure and Lien Services Corp. as agent for association and hereby authorizes agent to prepare, sign, and record a notice of delinquent assessment lien and all other necessary and associated documents on association's behalf on the following APN numbers: 256-461-02002, 328-094-05009, 328-053-18008, 328-132-08005, 328-121-11003, 328-122-03007, 328-111-17008, 328-231-10002, 328-172-05008, and 328-144-13006.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Discussion from directors. Okay. All those in favor?
Yes.
All right. Motion carries unanimously.
All right, information and correspondence. And we received the environmental control recap for the month of December 2025 and the patrol recap for the month of December 2025. The board received 4 items of correspondence. Now we're on to the directors forum. First, me, Director Bodor for the Bear Committee. Let me look at my notes. Okay, so we did order new bear signs that will be placed along Mil Potrero when you're entering and exiting our community, and they have arrived. So it's very exciting, and we'll be figuring out where to place those and having our maintenance team support us with that. Last meeting, I was very excited to report that I had received a call back the night before the meeting, the open session meeting from Kern County Roads. But then when I actually talked to the man from Kern County Roads, he was not helpful. Yeah, he essentially said that adding additional signs to protect wildlife or remind people not to feed bears along Mil Potrero was not cost effective because when it snows, maybe the sign will be knocked over. To which I argued quite a bit with him about that. So he's supposed to get back to me in a week with my feedback, and if I don't like that feedback, I will call again. And I will continue to make suggestions because I think it would be helpful and safer for our community to have more signs. along the Kern County Highway.
Wouldn't there be an option to simply place them farther back?
Yes,
Okay.
I did discuss that. Yes. Okay. And then as Carla White mentioned earlier, we do have a Bear Town Hall meeting coming up with our unit biologist, Abigail Gwynn. That is on Saturday, March 7th at 10 a.m. Should be a good one. Be a little differently organized maybe than in the past. So hope everybody attends. We did approve our Bear Ambassador, our volunteer Bear Ambassador position today, so that's exciting. And we'll get that up and running hopefully in the next couple of months, I would guess. Patrol reported one bear break-in. Again, that's reported to patrol in the last month. And overall, we're looking at a 44% decrease in bear break-ins compared to this time last year. Woo! Go community. Okay. And then if you would like to follow the Bear Committee's Facebook page, it's Pine Mountain Club, POA Bear Committee. And there we put up flyers from our research that is good reminders and articles too, to just remind you how to live more peacefully with bears. That's it. Okay. Director Randall Gates for Budget and Finance.
Budget and Finance met on January 14th of this month. There was a quorum present and basically covered, they reviewed in detail with George together all of the items in the complete financial package and recommended that it be approved by the board for November and December. Everything else I've already covered in my own report. So good job.
Thank you. Oh, it's me again. Okay, so in the interim, with Candace stepping down, we have admin officer Zielinski covering for the liaison position for Communications Committee. And it sounds like they're working on finalizing the website and rolling out the website, which is very exciting. The committee is providing feedback on content and user perspectives. They're also discussing the seasonal condor layout and setup, what the quarterly topics will be and should include, a yearly calendar, community focus and highlights section, really thoughtful consideration for how effective that seasonal condor will be. And I want to just shout out to Lauren Vela for really staying on top of all of this and providing solid feedback to all of us. So thank you. I feel like I need hats to put my different hats on. Okay. Directors Coulter and Armin for emergency preparedness.
Yeah, the emergency preparedness was dark last month, but I do know that we are still really wanting to get the community involved with the emergency preparedness, whether it's with the radio network. Just getting a radio from the front office for $20 is a big kudos for us. Right now, Pine Mountain Club is #1 in all of California for radio network and member participation. So that's a real big plus for us. But that's just step one. We need people to come into CERT and help CERT. We need people to come into emergency preparedness with, members to become more engaged. So those are things that we're really looking forward in the next fiscal year and getting people, the members engaged with emergency preparedness and CERT and the radio network. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Director Schoening for environmental control.
With the holidays, it was a pretty short meeting we had in addition to a single family home and a variance review.
Okay. General Manager Williams for Family Resource Ad Hoc Committee.
Okay, we still have 2 members. First order of business will be drafting the charter. We need some more members. We need at least 1 more, I believe, so the committee can actually start actioning on the next steps to help the community. So please, if anyone's interested, you can contact me, you can contact the business office to get a hold of me. Spread the word. Very excited for, the opportunity for the Family Resource Committee to really help us. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. And Director Randall Gates for governing documents.
Governing docs met on January 3rd. Quorum definitely present. Still discussing additions to the E1 contracting policy. Actually, no, I'm mistaken. That's been approved. It came in late, and that'll be on February's agenda. So that's put forward. I just discussed in the resolutions the bylaw 10.3 and the F14 changes to the annual budget working group, which was approved by committee and recommended. It'll go forward to the board. Article 19, they deferred on one addition to common rules of all committees. I think other changes have been posted. The additions will be addressed again in February as far as just management and committee. And business policy F11, investment policy is, again, it's basically just clarifying what we can do here, and it discusses insured cash sweeps and treasuries and limitations on anything that we're not allowed to invest in anything with risk. There's some discussion about employing a investment manager. I'm still waiting to hear the comments on that, but we've discussed that here, and most of this is zero risk, government FDIC insured or completely insured, and so we'll have further discussion on that topic, hopefully at the next meeting.
The water company is very extensive. The water company is way ahead of us, and they have an extensive portfolio. So I would consider reaching out to Mary.
Okay, good point. Is their portfolio include equities or
It's
preferreds?
mostly debt instruments. I don't think they have any equities. And I don't think they could. I'm not sure what their charter says, but that's but I would, and actually she gave me the name of their advisor. I can get that too if you like.
Okay, yeah, that'd be good. I mean,
It's Merrill Lynch
Oh.
handles it.
at this point, anything with principal risk is just off the table. We don't want to be extending return, especially in the current climate where it could go sideways in a heartbeat.
No argument. No argument there.
All right, thank
That may be Bitcoin and gold.
you. Well, Bitcoin, we're good. We're good on. We're good on. We got that cornered. Sorry. All right. Bylaw 10.09, fiscal responsibility. I resurrected the bistro bylaw that was kind of summarily put in limbo, I guess, back in 2018, not in compliance with our own bylaws that say any amendments, including saying we're not going to enforce it, needs to be ratified with the members. But it basically has resurrected the issue to greater discussion and not just a bistro-related issue, so it needs to be looked at very thoroughly. It's for those who are not familiar, back the members in 2017 were tired of, I guess, being ignored, and the bylaw says that the cafe and the lounge would require no subsidies from association funds. And if you look at the current bylaw 10.09, it says the legal counsel has advised that we don't enforce this. It throws it there without going through the proper procedures and process that are required by our governing documents. You can't amend, delete, or place in limbo. That's probably not how our bylaws say it, but a resolution without having the members weigh in. So I'm kind of resurrecting that to where we can revisit it. And at this point, we have feedback from Governing Documents Committee, and we have gone to legal counsel, so we will have an opinion that will be hopefully definitive on the subject, and it would relate to the cafe and the lounge are not really truly amenities per se, but it would relate to basically what can and cannot be done on these type of matters. So I look forward to hopefully next week getting their response. So that's on hold. Basically, they did their work, and at this point, I said I would ask for a legal opinion, and James concurred. Ben gave his update on the bear intrusion and incidents. Business policy before access to record. Back again. It will be discussed in February's meeting. It's a busy session. And Elizabeth Gilbert is still working to get collaborative documents on SharePoint, which is less confusing than using Google Docs for having issues go back and forth between committee members. And Article 19, rules for all committees. I already mentioned that will be one portion of that was deferred. The other portion is already posted. And also posted is the new election rules, which we've had reviewed completely by legal because we just wanted to get a clear starting point going forward, and there were some issues. So that is posted on the board and should be on the agenda for the next board meeting. And that's all.
Are you sure?
Well, if you really insist.
No. Great. That's so much.
I have 5 more pages of.
I know. Okay, Director Bailey for Greens and Grounds.
Greens and grounds are still currently dark.
Okay. All right. Director Coulter and Armand for Kern Fire Safe Council.
Kern Fire Safe Council was dark in December. They will reconvene next Monday. I did also want to say that fourth Saturday of every month at 9 o'clock is the the emergency preparedness meetings right here in the pavilion. So if anybody wants to go to that one, they can. Right after that, CERT will have their meeting over there by the fire station at the CERT building. So I wanted to mention that I forgot to earlier. And we're still looking to have members join the Firewise community. I do have the paperwork that you could fill out yourself. You don't have to have a representative from Kern Fire Safe Council come and look at your property. You could just fill it out yourself, take photos yourself, submit it yourself. If you feel uncomfortable with someone coming over and taking photos of the exterior of your land, you have that option. So please reach out to me, and I'll make sure that you get that paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Nicole Gates for Planning Committee.
The committee has finally been able to move ahead with tracking action items from the 2025 strategic plan. And it was actually an incredibly productive meeting, specifically tracking communications items. All of the action items are available for members to see in the strategic plan. I believe it's on a website.
Yeah, I think so. I can add a link to the highlights.
That would be fantastic. Thank you. And it was a really positive experience, not only because we had a lot of really helpful input and a lot of active participation in tracking these things, but it allowed us to go back and look at some of the really great ideas that came up in brainstorming with the committee before the finalized version of the strategic plan was drafted. And there's some really great ideas in there to increase member education, increase member engagement, increase communication, in addition to other, administrative managing of drainage, et cetera, things like that, water use. But it was a very productive meeting.
Amazing. Okay, Director Wild for Mill Potrero Mutual Water Company.
Since they actually met, you're going to have to forego my usual reading of poetry. You know, the well number 11 that you can see right out here, they're finishing up the pump house. It should be online within the next couple of months. It's producing 300 gallons per minute, which is an excellent flow. There's been no arsenic reported in the sampling taken so far. I don't know if you're aware, but they have an ongoing process where they're replacing meters, which allows for a more accurate reading and more automation without having to get out of the vehicle. The water company is also going to a 4-year term, so they don't have to have elections every year. It's a cost-saving measure, and it's also, there's a lot of disinterest in the elections, which is surprising because if, you know, notwithstanding all the wonderful amenities we have here, if we don't have any water, our property is next to worthless. So keep that in mind, and also keep that in mind when you use your water. And you know, they run regular tests. They call it non-income loss, which means basically leaks. Their system leaks about 12%. That also includes the water, the fire department doing flushing, and traditionally 16% is the average figure. So they're doing well on that area too in protecting our water. And that's the end of my tale.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. A couple members have come to me and said that they think that the assessment has gone up for water. Can you comment on that? Has that happened?
I believe it has, just looking at my bill, but they have to undertake a renovation of the entire pipeline system. They're doing it systematically because it was installed when the association was first built. So there's a lot of failures. So yeah, and that is going to their capital improvements, which they're doing well with. But yes, it has gone up.
Now, do you know how much it's gone up?
Yeah, I can look at it or ask them, but I don't have that.
I haven't seen my bill last
Yeah.
But members have asked, they said that it looked like their assessments have gone up in the water department, and they were wondering how much it's gone up and if there was any of the mail outs or anything of that nature saying that this increase was going to happen.
And I've only been the liaison for a couple months, but I can ask and you know, report back to get that information. But I know I have a lot that doesn't actually get billed, but it gets an annual, and that has gone up a substantial amount. So I would say, just don't quote me on it, but just anecdotally, I would say it's gone up. How's that for an invasive answer?
Very invasive.
Lovely. Okay, General Manager Williams for Pine Mountain Club Commercial Property Owners Association.
Okay, CPOA meeting took place on January 12th, Monday. They discussed events for the upcoming year, specifically Wine in the Pines. The concern was that since it wasn't held last year, I believe, they sent out 53 emails to the vendors and they only got 10 replies. So the big concern is it's hard to just get them involved if you don't keep them involved. So they're a big concern. They're going to reach back out to try to get enough vendors to hold the event. They discussed changing vendors for their ticket sales, the software system, setting up monthly maintenance, contracted maintenance via an agreement for the village. Short discussion on BMI and implications such as fines if you don't manage the venue. We have the same discussions. Village merchants, quick update on that, through their marketing efforts on social media, Facebook and IG. The inn was full for Christmas and New Year's, so that was great. Other businesses reported record bookings.
Wow.
Board reorg was kind of where they ended the meeting. Clarice Smith had stepped down from chair. Marla Antonoro is acting chair, and the vice chair is still being discussed in their upcoming board elections process. And that's it.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I just want to state, I don't speak for the water board. I was just speaking from personal knowledge, but I will reach out to them and see if I can get any hard facts on their rate structure over the past couple of years. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. Okay, members rebuttal forum. The members rebuttal forum is a 10-minute period that follows the directors forum, offering members the opportunity to briefly respond to any matter raised by a director. Each speaker will be given up to 1 minute to share their thoughts. Members wishing to speak are kindly asked to step to the microphone, address the board chair, and state their name, tract, and lot number for the record. While the board might not respond immediately, all comments will be respectfully noted.
Still morning. Still Paul Mobley, 3402-307. Doug, I did speak with Ron about the water. He was very helpful in discussing the well and things like that. The people at the water company are excellent individuals, and if you ever have a question, they're very helpful. I installed Streamlabs water monitoring for my home, so that if I have a leak, it's detected and I can remotely shut off the water if something happens. It's a good idea for people who don't stay up here. Maybe they want to shut off their property during the winter, things like that. They can monitor it remotely and remotely shut it off. So that's a really good thing. There are also really inexpensive sensors that can be placed in bathrooms, laundry rooms, kitchen to alarm if there is a leak, to give you a heads up right away. If you're home or if you have cameras in the house, they'll detect the alarms. So that's a real good prevention procedure. I invested about $1,000 for the installation and the monitor. I think you can come down with that. I just said I want to get it done.
What was it called, Paul?
There's various different ones. Rod had one that he recommended. I use Streamlabs. I got it on eBay, had it installed through the Kennelly Plumbing, and it's in my garage. It tells me what the temperature is, when the regulator pressure is going on and off. So day to day, I can see what my consumption is, and if I'm using too much in the laundry room. I have a salt water softener, and I became very aware how much water that uses. So I was kind of surprised. We do need to soften our water here because it's so hard. It's got a lot of calcium in it. But there are different softeners out there that don't use as much water. So something to think about when you're moving forward with water conservation. Okay. And lastly, about the bear signs, Yosemite has that red sign for when a bear gets killed on the road. There's unfortunately many of them out there, and I'm sure you guys are aware of it. But I'd like to also have a coalition between the bear community, the EP community, to incorporate roadway safety, because I don't want to be the only one putting my hand up on a regular basis. We need to do this as a coalition. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the water company is very well run, and I'm always impressed when I go to their meetings. So we're very fortunate, and Rob is a great GM.
I agree. Any additional member comments? Okay.
All right. Adjournment. In the December 20th, 2025 executive session at 8:30 a.m., the following was discussed. 1, potential litigation. 1, contract. 9, forbearance agreements, which were discussed and approved. Lien requests, which were discussed. 1, foreclosure. 1 hearing, 1 appeal, and 1 personnel issue. The next regular open board meeting will take place on February 21st, 2026 at 10 a.m. in the Condor Room. Can I get a second?
Second,
Thank you.
why does everyone always look at me?
It's your duty. We're done. Yeah, that's it. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Noon? Well done.
Shorty. That's a shorty. Before noon? 11:45.
Thanks, everyone.
11:45.
Yeah, record.
This meeting ever in the history of meetings.
Yeah, see you next month.
Josh.
Oh, okay.
One little thing, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Can we just go over there and get it over with? You have to wait until.
My lips.
What? Sorry.
Just go over there now?
Yeah. Okay. Well done. On the long one. That's 8 o'clock.